I'm Holly Pike from Artistic Threadworks. We have a new set coming out very soon that I think you'll really like. All occasion greeting cards. I'm going to show you today how I set them up in the hoop, embroider them, and then decorate them so that you can do some of your own when the set comes out. I'm going to start by showing you how I get a card in the hoop to have it ready for embroidery. I have my 5x7 hoop, and I'm using tearaway wash away medium weight stabilizer. I'm just going to hoop this up. We have everything set. It's nice and snug in the hoop. Now, because you can't hoop a card, I'm going to use some spray, and I'm using Dritz spray adhesive. It's temporary adhesive. You can use KK 2000 also. We're just going to spray a little bit of this on the stabilizer. And then I'll pick a card. The cards that I have, I got from my local scrapbook store, and they're 60-pound cards or 80-pound cards. Either one should work just fine. Notice these are already scored for me, so I didn't have to do that hard work. I'm just going to fold it on the score and then open it back so that I can embroider it. I want to embroider on this side. So I'm just going to lay it here very gently on that adhesive. All of our hoops came with little plastic grids, and this is what your grids are for, is for lining up. I'm going to lay my grid down, matching up the notches on the hoop so that that's nicely in place. Then, if you can see, I'm going to move this card around a little bit and center it in this square of the grid so that I know the center of my design is right here. Okay, we've got that. I'm going to push it down a little bit, bend that back. Make sure that this part of the card is not being stopped by anything, that the arm will move freely, just like embroidering anything else. Let's make sure everything's stuck down pretty good. Okay, I have my design up on the screen of my machine, but if you'll notice, I really want my design to be rotated a bit so that it's stitching this way, so when I open my card, the design goes this way. So let's rotate this design. We're just going to give it a 90 degree, and that's correct. I want it to be that way, and close. Now let's do a trace. It's important that we do a trace because we want to make sure that the card is centered and that there's enough room to do the embroidery. On my machine, I push this little button here, and then this, and then we can watch it trace where the design is going to stitch. And that looks pretty good. Be sure to use a nice fresh needle so that it'll go through the card without any problem at all. And if you can't rotate the design on your sewing machine, you probably can do it in your software. Okay, our design is done. I use a curved scissors, very sharp, and tweezers when I clip my jump stitches. And I just grab the stitch if I can, clip one side, give it a little tug, clip the other side. Okay, our jump stitches are all cut. Let's take it out of the hoop. Be careful, let the card pass through the hoop. You can put this aside. Now remember, I used tearaway. Mine happens to be tearaway wash away, but just make sure it's a tearaway of some type. Because of the redwork stitches, you want to kind of reinforce when you're tearing this stabilizer off. So what I'm going to do is I just put my finger here, like this, just against the lettering, just pull against it, just like that. It's just the lettering. You really want to reinforce that lettering. Using the spray, you're never really going to get all of this stabilizer out, even if you used a a clear stabilizer, like a topper type stabilizer, you're really not going to get it all out, and I don't want to spend the time picking it out. So what I do is I find some cardstock, and I just I cover it. I just put a little cover over it. I use these. You can get them at your local scrapbook store. You can get them online from scrapbooking if you don't have a local scrapbook store. And now for this one, I'm just going to go in and look for, oh, maybe blue, maybe a royal blue if I have one. Or red. Let's take red. I'm going to tear it out. And I'm going to look and see how wide my design is versus how wide my card is. Okay, so now I'm just going to trim my card up a little bit. You can trim it with rotary cutters or scissors, whatever you like to use. I use rotary cutters just because I have arthritis, so it makes it easy. There are pinking blades, wave blades, and straight blades for rotary cutters. I just do this as if I was cutting fabric, and I'm going to use the pinking blade and just cut a little bit of that off. Line it up with the lines on your cutting mat. I'll take my tacky glue. I found that this works really well. You could use Scrapbooker's strip tape, but make sure you use the permanent tape, not the temporary tape, because the temporary will come off. And I'm thinking that people will probably want to keep these and not just, throw them away. So I just, put some glue on here. You don't need a lot, just enough to make it stick down. Take it and put it down there. When I'm pleased with the position, I'll just press it down. So now let's take a look at our presentation. So we have our card, Happy 4th of July. We open it up and there's a nice surface for you to see, and you can write whatever you like. You can go to scrapbook stores and pick up all kinds of books on sayings and sentiments for cards, or you could even go online and look up card sayings and things like that and type them out and use them, or write them if you have a really nice handwriting. Whatever you'd like to do, really, your imagination is all that limits you. So this card is done as far as I can see. Well, no, let's do something else. Let's do a little coloring in. There's two ways that I color my cards. I use two different types of chalks. And again, you can get this at a scrapbooking store. You can get them online. Just type in scrapbook supplies. This has to be Pebbles, pastel chalks. And this is more of a chalky-based chalk. With a shiny card, I find that I have better luck with the cream chalks. These are metallic cream chalks. I have a little better luck with them on the shiny surfaces. On the flat cards, the flat paper, the powder chalk works real well. Okay, so I'll just open this up. And your chalk, when you buy them this way, will come with a little holder. We're going to use the blue and color the flag area, and then just dip it in there, and let's just go in and color in the blue part. And there you have just a little bit of color to your American flag for Happy 4th of July.